and now we can move to the most interesting part. So, as we said, as we mentioned, we are going to talk about career growth and development. And based on your questions, so we are going to have basically two sections: junior, middle, senior transition, and also job search and career strategy. What do you need to proceed in your career? And I'll be reading all of the questions. So we have basically for people who are going to watch this video, they also are going to have all of these questions. So, Pavlo, the first question is, as a front-end developer aiming to grow from middle to senior, what are some less obvious but critical mindset or behavior shifts you've seen make the biggest difference beyond just
Um,
technical skills? Or maybe we should start from the
yeah,
junior
but
to
let's
middle.
read all of them so we like understand some milestones that we would point. And this actually pretty big
Okay.
one topic, and like I will try describe it from one really important point. As you see, it's like some questions we will little bit go back to each of them, and I would like point
Okay.
when I'm asking. So. We have like some questions about junior, middle level development, and so on. And when we're talking about actually those one, I've started thinking I need to find some matrix of skills. Now I need to find some tab after that, and I understand. Yeah, we don't need anything. We already have this one. Let me share my screen right now quickly. Oh my gosh, I'm not able to share the screen. Could you open,
Oh,
please, the link
that's
that I... Yes.
interesting. Let me just stop sharing mine. You were
No,
supposed
no, no, no,
to.
no, no, no. It's system settings. I need to reload the application. Could you open the
Okay.
link, please?
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, yes. It's Zoom. Zoom. We like not using Zoom in our daily life, so it's mostly
MacBook
Teams.
screen sharing issue detected. Yes,
Yes, yes, exactly.
that's so true. By the way, I see that some people messaging us already in the chat. I will ask you in advance to please put to everyone, because you can write either to us, either to everyone your questions. It would be better if we have everyone. Pavlo, for example,
Could
you
you
sent
open
it
the
just to
this link,
me.
please? I would show.
Okay.
Actually, this one is pretty well-known, like site for planning and building your strategy for your career growth and so on. So it's actually,
Yeah, just give me a second. So
so
you should see it now.
yes, exactly. This one is it's something that reminds me some game development and something like this. So when you see the character list with skills and what you need to like pass something to learn something to go to the next step, this one is like common and actively like usable mind map that describe the skill set that you need nowadays. It actually have really important part that has like these bullet points and help you to write some small project in some steps. It provide you like skeleton of the core knowledge that you need to know. And in the end of the path, when you're choosing like one of the greens one, you would get the probably like middle senior level front-end developer. But I would say that like if you go to actually to the top to this, of the site, you would see that this list is pretty deep. When we're talking about some CI/CD here, it would be like just a couple of technologies that you would use, some Docker at least, and something like this. But if you go for like, oh, could you click to the on top of the site of the header? Yeah, roadmaps. You see, no, roadmaps.
Oh
This
my
one in the
God,
header
I feel
menu.
so stupid right now. Roadmaps,
Yeah.
yeah, I see it.
Yes. You would see the whole list of different official roadmaps. Official. Yes. You would see like a lot of different technologies and options that you can like move in, and it displays like pretty relevant list of different technologies that can be chosen on your path. Nowadays, I would say that like if we're talking like how to be like developer, I would say that it's like more predicted by the applications that we're actually building, how market ruled and what application we would build. It happens that like you can open some hiring platform, search for developer, and you would see how market actually relevant, what technologies used in like top companies, and what they're choosing for their like environment and so on. So uh, it's when you're choosing like what to be like, do we need, oh, in a matter of like choosing one for example framework that you would use for your starting kit. Is it React, is it Vue, is it some Angular, is it some CommonJS or some other stuff? So it's just a matter of to understand what marking you pointing. I would say that from my experience, I have some options and I have the ability to actually choose on a go. Could you scroll a little bit?
Mm-hmm.
For example, after I have like basis of HTML, CSS, and so on, scroll down, please. Yeah, here it is. Like it's like option to choose React, Vue, Angular, Svitla, and some other stuff. I have experience with different of them, and I've choose Vue.js, and I've choose like this branch of Vue.js. If you click on Vue.js, it actually has some roadmap separately for like yeah, how to become a Vue.js developer. It's just specification of this library. And I would say that like many of the tools that like do the same function have pretty same like steps that you need to figure out. It's actually not a problem to see some patterns and some issues if like some Vue application switch. It's definitely not a problem switch from Vue.js to React. It's possible to switch from React to Vue with some options, but you like need to know extra. It's pretty hard would be to switch from React or Vue to Angular since you have to know a little bit more. So this one is like map of requirements, and usually if we're talking about some interviews or some career searching, like the next one would be. Here mostly like I'm as a guy who running the screening, for example, or technical interview, I'm interested in how is like your map fulfill how what technologies you already used, what some options you've choose on this tree, and actually your flexibility if it's not much. So for example, if you have it's pretty hard to switch like from Vue to React, but it's definitely possible. And for example, if you have like one senior developer who fully pass the Vue.js and choose like one technologies, it's easier like to switch to another one since you already since like this technology probably doing in the same part of your application. So if you need any kind of I don't know like css or ui framework, if you know one and build couple of frameworks, and it's just another styling and just another box, and probably with some fixing some issues, some naming, some building processes, and so on, it would work the same. You just need some time for adaptation and so on. We the main actually idea of this like career growth. What prefix you've put in between your name in the like in your CV. For example, if you some super technical guy, probably you would have just some software engineer, because everything that coming in the name of the software is something that it's like he can fix, he can run, he can build. If we add some extra steps, so I'm not so good developer. It's like let's put some like middle or junior like prefix. I'm not sure, like I'm not really good in C. I'm more in web technologies. Let's put some web or JS. I'm not good in all frameworks. Let's specify which actually specialist I am, like a React developer or something like this. So if you see the guy, it's definitely possible become like a senior React developer, but probably React would be just a small part of the full path of front-end developer. Or even if you feel the full path of the front-end developer, you still have the prefix front-end. So it's a full backend story behind, should be staying behind you to actually become like a full stack developer, something like this. So those specifications is actually like zones of your responsibilities. Uh, could we switch to your question list so I could be
Yes,
more
of
specific? Yeah.
course. Just a
Mm.
second.
And as you see, like it's like a skill set that you build in. It should like it's just a skill set. It's when we're talking about actually development, it's more about how you utilize those skills and what continuation, yeah, and what like level of responsibilities you can take by this code and by this by guidance. It's what should junior middle developer know. They should know everything, or at least well, like something from this tree where we have options. So at least one option. If you know at least one option in this tree, and in a page of the front-end developer, you can point you as a middle one. If you know different options, it's more about seniority. Junior actually, from my perspective, it's actually some time period job. It's not possible to be junior for a long time period of you doing something. So you just finish some courses, you start actually working on real product. It's just a matter of time when you become a middle. It's just a matter of small experience that you gain during the development process. It would be limited anyway. It's not like all your specialization like with different technologies. It's like your time that you put to work with this technology. So you can become a master of Google Maps, which is actually pretty hard. I don't know why, and put like a months of I don't know some development of sub components. What does it mean for you? That you, in this period of time, you can like get this technology super new for you, and work with it like it's something new for you. And in this amount of time, we would get some results, and it would be like this. You can put it to your portfolio or something like this. Provide. What it means for me, for example, as a team lead, I would understand that this speed of development of like getting and reaching new technologies make you like from junior to middle. When you open new technology, new something, you would always start like a junior. If you open like new framework documentation, even if you have like seen hundreds of them, you like junior. When you scroll full documentation, put it in a head, you probably become a middle. It's like my level of understanding. What's actually make middle? The main one is like when you start asking not how to do this, why should I do this? Like, should I do it like in this way? So you just start asking these questions, but mostly for junior and middle developer, tickets should be um, ticket should be like correctly described. It has like a list of acceptance criteria. It should be like well description, picture, everything. So it should be like just I would say middle level. Have some options when like this developer can go and take some extra communication, for example, with some marketing team, some stakeholders, some other teams that non-technical one. Probably it's like those code to human communication. It's pretty senior like I would say skill, and I'm putting this like to the senior bucket mostly. Middle one, it's more about I know this technology, I know what solution can be more like useful for this one. So we have some components. It should contain like correct amount of props. Those props can be probably in this point of some typization provided on top of this. Um, it can choose I don't know some library, for example, if we're talking about the ticket, like provide some form, and this form has like a new input type like date field, for example. For middle level, it's like provide couple of options for discussion. Really like good level of knowledge. Probably make this research. if it's something new. You have never worked with different charts. What we do with the charts? Let's make research. It's also possible for middle one. Senior at this moment usually say it's better to use something because I already have experience on this. Senior, it's more about your expertise. Um, yeah, this transition of the mindset, probably the question is what we're talking about is like front-end developer mindset. Seniority is when you start thinking about like business needs more than just like some business request. When you try to put and count some risks, when you count some money, when you count some possible places of the growth, so probably you can um make some investigation that would be so seniority is time to time is actually providing some tickets that deliver some tickets that not contain any kind of code. So probably it can be some research, probably it can be some demo, probably it would be something that actually communicate self-manage. So it can take some business need, for example, like we need some button, like usually business come and ask like we need some button, and it should be the same like a Google, just input and button. It's pretty simple, just deliver it. Like how many time you need for this one? Senior can make those correct investigation, provide some level of like knowledge that like from my perspective it can hold like some issues. We would have some milestones, provide some card. It can slice like pretty complex task for I know like months of the work by the smaller parts. So it's level of seniority. Seniority also for me is something when you start actually sharing your knowledge. It's not just as I mentioned, thinking about business needs. So you're really good in Tailwind, but time to time you don't need Tailwind, for example. Time to time, if you provide in some small library, you can just write a couple lines of code, and it's seniority level to understand like what you put in a project, and does it actually need this one functionality? Do we need this libraries? Do we need this level of overhead? Can we make it simpler? Can we make it, or maybe we don't need to make it simple. Maybe we can like shoot with a cannon and provide some super overloaded framework just to display one form. Maybe it's right now save our times and would be much easier, I don't know, for some business needs. It's like the level of the seniority. For me, it's also like the team communication. It's really important one. Seniority is actually to like share your code in a way that it would be like clear for other one how to maintain. Provide some. I would say that I have really nice experience where we have like a team with like 10 plus years senior guys that like take the ticket, ask just a couple of questions. The rest of the questions they just like asking by themselves, make extra communication and so on. And in the end, you've got the pull request full of beauty in a code, just like each line like a perfect one, and they like make some refactoring on top of this so they can in the estimation of the time they put something on top of this like not just make it work and maintain comfortable, so make it nice, and it was like a charm. It's really nice. So and build those communication between guys so they can easily switch like parts of the application that they work and share some knowledge. So for example, could you continue working on this one? Like I don't know, like in a month, as for example, they can like share the knowledge easily, make some extra calls, provide this communication, and you no need to manage them. It's like the beauty of senior developers. Actually, when you read some agile books and when you read something that related to the like team composition and so on. Mostly they describe something like this. They also describe the full stack one, but I would say that we have some questions about the full stack developers. Do
Yeah,
you
we
believe
actually we
that,
actually have a
yeah,
few questions. I guess, I mean, I'm trying to
mm,
kind of manage this. Some
yes.
of them maybe will be more suitable for the thing that we have about the technology, but we still have a few that kind of
Yeah, yes,
to
I
the
believe.
topic that
Yep,
we
yep.
have right now.
In the next couple of minutes, we will switch for the next one. So I would read some questions. Do you believe in full stack developers? In this case, I believe in a full stack developer if I see, for example, 10 plus year experience of this person. It's like my experience. I'm starting from the backend. I've become a really cool backend developer, but I would like to be a self-manager to cover full application. I see the technologies that also can be like reached to me, and at some moment I've like, Jess, you can build them. You can write TypeScript. I'm actually really in love with TypeScript, and I've seen that TypeScript is something for me like a Java. So you writing something and it's built in another code. You have some like browser, like virtual machines that run this code, and it's like pass and build process, and you can like it's like big guys doing, you know. It was become interesting, and by the time I've like really good in backend one, I've get a really nice experience in different patterns, for example, and share some patterns with like one of the first presentation it was about how to put TypeScript patterns to Vue.js, like just after the decorator appear. And it's possible the full stack developer, but it should be like really sad guy that has seen a lot of stuff in this one, and it definitely can cover. But it's not possible to become. It's possible become full stack developer, for example, from business perspective. When you have some Node.js knowledge and possible to build some some API, and you know how to work with like some Firestore, for example, or like some MongoDB or some other stuff, like Marin stack, if you're talking about this one. It's possible, but you would be full stack Marin developer. So you would definitely would have this limitation in Marin. So backend is like pretty rich of the different technologies. And we actually have one of the question about Java development in next step. So we would talk a little bit about this one. But just a full stack, it's super a lot of experience, I would say. My,
Also, I guess the question that we didn't, or you have something to say about to
mhm.
continue this one. Do you
No,
have
it's more, yeah, it's like all my thoughts about this full stacks actually.
okay.
It's possible, but it's a lot of options we need to count to name it actually with the full stack. So yeah.
We also have the question that we haven't covered from this slide, I guess, is about a very important question, actually, money. How do you convince a company to pay you significantly more, or let's just say more, than they paid you as a strong junior level? So when you switch from one
It's
level to
more
another.
about your level of responsibilities that you can take. Firstly, it's responsibility. More responsibility is self-management you have, more payment you have. Less time I'm bothering you to get some ticket descriptions and so on. So I'm a business, I'm count time. So less I spend, I can put senior on top of all juniors. So all juniors would generate. But for me, it would be cheaper to make like, this senior do this like actually job. I'm putting like money in perspective. So I'm investing in your knowledge of the project, more working you on some, if you're talking about for some like huge projects that run on the time, it's like your total your total payment would be like hiring new developer from the market plus time to integrate this developer to actually a project. I saw some projects that when you need like months, like after 3 or 4 months you just see small part of the application, and it's all depends like what like technologies, what business actually you're running, and what you're doing. From my perspective, it's much easier to work on the direct product companies like that making something. So out stuff, it's like one of the comfortable options that can be. So you like somehow related to the team, but actually like integrated deeply to the product that you developing. Some outsource and some other stuff when you have some small team that running small business sites on a go. You should probably focus on some technology skill. I would say the best experience that I have, it was my experience in Drupal community, where we have like strongly typed technologies that we use and build whole community and clients and so on top of this. It's probably the best possible option. Run with Laravel, run with, I don't know, some PHP, with a Go, with other technologies. You would find some market that actually come to you and know why they actually doing. Other one can run the WordPress application.
I just want to tell our participants that I see all of your questions. I just know the how we're
Mm.
going to structure our storyline. So maybe your question we will cover a little bit later. So to keep the logic of
Yep.
what we're going to talk about. But for this
Uh,
topic, we also
yes.
have.
Let's switch to technologies.
Let's switch to technologies, but still we have a few questions,
Mhm.
which I find important maybe to mention because it's about communication. So, what skills and attitude must a junior developer have to work along with project managers and product managers? So, more about soft skill stuff, I guess.
As I mentioned, the a pretty important one is like actually communication with non-technical guys. It's the beauty of like understand what they require, and usually in this like in usually in a non-technical request, uh, everything that you need to know is just to understand what risks, like what limits you have. It's like risks that you put and only you know about this risk usually, and some time limitation, budget limitation, and so on. And usually it's like you pick in some time limitation. So we have a lot of money for this button. Yeah, we would build some framework specifically for this button. We have small amount money, and you like choosing technology based on this one, and trying to cover like minimal technology to cover the risks. And this like communication and presentation of this one to the clients, it's the most important one. And estimation. I would say that I have like one joke about how team lead choosing the estimation for a really big product. They multiply by two everything that developer estimate and add plus 2 weeks. If you're asking why plus 2 weeks, it's time needed for team lead actually to write this feature to some MVP version at least. Uh, usually your estimation it's a part of the risk that you count, and usually you should name realistic one, not try to put some like some super, not trying to be super positive in your estimation. Be realistic. In this case, at some moment you become like a doctor for a client, and when clients say I want this feature really fast, you would say that it costs a lot of money or it costs a lot of time. It's not possible to make it super fast and super cheap and work normally. You can choose like couple of options. If like it's like a physics, it's not possible. And everyone who says that it's possible just lying. So be realistic. Be those like a Dr. House who says like the client bad words, and better to be super bad in your estimation and fix it early and come with the good news that we make it earlier, either than like overgrow in your timeline. It's something that I really like to do. Like
That's
just put
actually very
extra.
true to any industry, I guess, to
Yeah.
any position. That's very true. Also, I guess it will be the last question for the previous slide, since you have a lot of experience interviewing people and finding new candidates for Svitla. Many people saying that at some expert level, tech stack doesn't matter because person is easy to pick and use any stack that need to. So when you see this milestone, when you don't care about tech understanding, but more about soft skills and big picture understanding, like when you can move about, oh my God, it's so, I'm trying to make it shorter and I'm not helping myself. So basically, when you see this milestone, when you don't care about tech understanding, but more about soft skills as an interviewer, if you understand that the person has the technical
It's
good
pretty,
background.
pretty. Could you start from the start?
Okay,
Oh, uh,
I'm trying to now read it fully. Contrary to hard skills, which is key for junior middle
ah,
as basis to
I see.
evaluate. Now you see this question, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
I tried to make it shorter, but I
Uh,
didn't
yeah,
make it
yeah,
fully.
yeah. Yeah, your level of skills, junior, middle, and so on, it's more if it's like it's a skill of how you work with such technologies. It's pretty easy swappable. If we're talking about some, if I would definitely sure, like it was with Swift, for example, when appear new technology, they require people with experience on it. So when appear new Apple Swift language, they require people with other like language experience. It's just a technology. They usually do the same. When I just open, I've a couple of days ago, I read some book about patterns, and just in like third line, in third page of the code, I just understand that it's actually Java. Uh, Before that, for me, it's something that really looks like the TypeScript and has some typization. Yeah, it's different syntaxes, little bit, but I'm definitely understand what is done. I can like when you're choosing something like when we have like discussion choosing like Python or R or something like this. In some level, yes, as like if we start in something new and we're talking about some start of the new project, for example, we can choose like some we need we, in any way we had some parameters how to choose for we can choose a person and after that pick technologies. Definitely yes. It's more about business decision. Is it like business interested in this and choose it like this? Usually, business already have some technical guy that say, no, 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 we need to run and make it only in, I don't know, some Ruby on Rails, and only Ruby would make us happy. We work with happy developers, and every Ruby developer is happy. We definitely knew about this one.
Yeah.
Uh, it's something like this can be. I have experience when we have fully worked application built with beautiful team, easy to support, easy to maintain. Mwah. Client decide that they should rewrite the application fully to React and spend like a year and a half to rewrite the application in React. His count says that it's much easier on the future, on the go, in the perspective of 5, 6 years, to find the developer on React in the United States, either than support your application. Some business needs some business counts. I would agree with this. Like I'm definitely not agree with this one. So it's like, but it's business decision. When we're talking about how we're choosing some technologies, you can choose I don't know .NET because you already have some work to start on .NET and it's web related. You definitely would knew something about API, something about like rendering, something about different one. You would probably would be in touch with some React. After that, you can switch some backend technologies, like I show you on the tree, by another one. And the web engineer is something that I can run Python application. It doesn't matter for me. At some moment, we have F sharp Lambda on our application, and we support and maintain them. We just need some small adjustments and update on them. It's why not? It's already running in this one, so we just reuse it and maintain it. Do we have any of guys F sharp in our resume? No. But it's about like actually seniority that you can make some parallels and so on. Usually we have some related stuff that like can be holy. I hope I answered the yeah for this one for this
Before
question.
we
So
go
yeah.
to the question that we have here on the slide,
Mhm.
also maybe we should cover it a little bit because we haven't talked about this much. For you as an interviewer,
Mhm.
how much of attention you pay to the soft skills of the candidate, how the candidate can show that he, she, they have strong soft skills, and yeah, maybe how you check it.
I've usually, it's usually happens. I would say that I'm not a huge fan of some like matrix when you have some strict questions and you need to answer exactly on this question in this option. I don't like this one. I usually make some discussion and I usually try to understand how person experience first. Is it actually real in CV? And is it actually showing some problem? Usually, I've asked what problems you have with this technology, what kind of issues you run, what the solutions you not like that you build. You're using MUI, wow, nice. What do you not like in this one? Because if you actually work with this technology, you would say like I don't like that it's not including something. For this one, we need to include extra libraries. I don't know. And if you run in some issues, you probably spend some time with debugging and solving it. If you can describe me small issue with I don't know how you set up Google. I just have today problems with Google Maps, so I've put some examples of Google Map integration. So if you have like Google Map integration and you try to share the token between a couple of components, and it's definitely you run an issue. I'm interested that highly small chance that the same issue happen in our project. But some issue that needs some debugging, some research of the problem, you would find this. And I'm looking mostly for this skill to understand and to find. For my perspective, it's okay for seniors say that, guys, I have never seen like your Vue.js, but I knew that it's like something like this, something like this. It have stuff like this, stuff like this. It follows those pattern, and I'm a little bit new with this, but let me just used to this flow of your code and how you write, how you build, and understand what problems you're actually trying to fix by choosing some technologies.
So
And
basically, curiosity and problem solving.
yes, yes, and it's for me. It's not enough when junior comes and say that I'm finished some courses. I would ask like, what you really like in this one? We use Tailwind. What do you like in Tailwind? And if it's nothing to say that it's nice, because it's nothing to compare, it means that you like just not curious in this one. You can probably cover something, but I wouldn't risk to put you in something more that you can describe, you know?
Yeah.
If you're trying to be more than, and it's not related in your CV, it's not something covering it, say that, yeah, I'm definitely not work with Tailwind, for example, but I knew how Bootstrappers work. I know that they're using some new post CSS patterns. I don't have it. It's highly possible that like your small business experience could be covered with your curiosity, for example. You could say that we work with Bootstrap 3. It's pretty old application. And I know that it's like go far away with like new technologies, but we don't have business options, for example, to run this. It's definitely okay for me. If you like know what problems you have and you can like open this like roadmap and see where you fit or not, and at least put your curiosity. You don't have business experience, but you always can have some pet project experience. Why not?
Great. So now we have a new list of questions, and yeah, then I won't spend time to read all of them. Basically, if you, I don't know, if you watch this
Mhm.
video as a podcast, just listen, pay attention to the video as well. So yeah, maybe you can sum up some of the questions with the answers. Maybe you want to some of them to answer particularly. The stage is yours.
Interview timing. I would recommend like it super depends on period of like the weather actually like business waves I would say. The closest like business drop down would be closer to the new year probably, and usually it happens when everyone go to the vacation in the summer. Be aware if it's a lot of vacations, it's better to spend time with the family and not starting your career searching. I'm talking since I have like birthday in the start of the August. I was queued from a lot of projects, maybe four of them exactly at the start of the some of August, and it happens like it's my birthday. So
New year of life, new project.
yeah, so and a lot of and usually and I have like an issue, for example, for some calendar basis. I would say that like on Christmas, on the start of December, I have some start working on the new project and have a lot of problems after that, since like no one can like guide me, and like all the persons can that had knowledge go to vacation in December, and it's pretty hard to start something in December in this case when you need like a lot of communication with the people, with different persons. Count on this one, count on the market, and probably put like I would say like from my perspective, it would take probably like 2 months of different interviews, maybe three, of like in like lazy mode, I would say, to actually find something. But it depends on what you're actually thinking. If you restrict to some technologies, for example, React applications and React in JS world, it would mostly we could talk like 80, 70, I don't know, percent. It's like huge actually percentage of React applications. Vue.js, Angular, it's much smaller actually from total. But by statistic, Vue.js developers spend less of time searching for a project. React provide a lot of developers, a lot of interviews. I would say that like if you're junior and middle, be ready for some technical screening. It's really hard actually right now to if you don't want to make some technical testing. You like how I stopped doing any kind of technical stuff. I've started asking questions. Why do you need this? What are you trying to test with this one? Is it just some filter, or it's actually like reviewing by person and what it's trying to reach by some technical questions, some technical practical one, I would say practical, that you need to provide before the interview. It would take some time usually. Like timing, I would say for nowadays it's super depends on the time that you start searching for the job, some technologies that you would like to work, and probably how long the project would run. It's pretty easy to find some small run project on the go, even for junior or middle developers. It would be more interviews, but it's definitely possible. A lot of businesses try to, like reduce cost, and in the cost of one senior developer, they hide in like two middle one, and so it's also can be. And 4 months away, yeah, you have like a month to rest and start searching. Um,
Then we have a few questions about how to
mhm.
stand out in technical interviews and about the first job. If you haven't had the previous experience, how can you
If you
find?
don't have previous experience, cover it with some usually like I mentioned, cover it with your curiosity. It's the first one. If you have like technical anyways, if you would like to describe in your CV or some other stuff, write small projects, put it to the repo, provided some. I would say that the it's pretty okay right now. Provide some demo repository or some couple of repositories, or choose some GitHub or whatever you would like to make some sort of technical CV. Put some code in the repo, put couple of different projects, If we're talking about some full stack JS development, it's better to have some CRUD application, create, read, update, delete. It would cover probably half of questions that you would have in your technical interview for any kind of admin panel that you would write. Authorization and CRUD operations. Some API integration, probably third-party one. So I would recommend Chuck Norris quotes, or I would recommend some Pokemon API. It's actually a couple of publicly available API. You can write any kind of front end on top of this. Pokemon even can run some search requests and so on. So you would show how you organize your like extra communications. It's how you describe it in the code, and it's also close some of the questions related to like API connections, communication, and inside of this, how you build requests, how you how you like work with errors, error handling, and so on. Oh, and also I would recommend to put some tests. Everything that is possible. Right now, it's pretty easy. Actually, it's a part of the AI section. Actually, we have like a lot of AI tooling that allows us to build tests. You just need to actually validate that it's not testing nothing. So test by just for test, it can just run to build such thing. But testing, and if you even like a junior developer showing that you have some unit test or integration test in your repository, I would definitely put a couple of plus plus to your resume. So it's like something that represent you like a developer that like tries to reach some level of comfort of development, I would say. And the biggest one probably would be some open source job. You can find some repo and provide some updates on it. And if it's like accepted, oh, it would be amazing. I would say it's actually shouldn't be like some huge project. You can find, I don't know, like some community of some, for example, just for example, I have like this handheld small place, like game console, and it has like their own operation system. I provide a couple of PR request updates with like translations. Why it's important? It shows that you can work with pretty strict Git rules and show that you can capable to communicate just by the code without any kind of communication by the phone or chat or something like this. Find some open source library and provide translation to your language. Why not? This one is it's actually something that you can like even some repositories provide some achievements, some special labels and so on. Yeah. Um, uh, from those questions that we have
We
see.
have also, I guess the question was salary, we also covered on the previous slide a
Yeah,
little
yeah,
bit, but
probably,
we
yeah. It's
have,
salary, it's responsibility.
yeah.
Business cover everything, like all our development. Business see just some like risk. I put some money and get some results. It's
We have
just
a question about UI UX designers, how to work in the USA. If you want to work, what you should do. Maybe you can, I mean, you're not UI UX designers, but maybe you can give a few
Uh,
tips on that.
yeah, probably you would. I would recommend to scroll. If you're talking about like web development, you would definitely need to read some guidebooks. At least scroll for the library, UI library that like your team using. Usually, if you're talking about some Tailwind, some MUI, and other stuff, you would have some ready kit that includes some components that just from Figma oriented to some other stuff, so Photoshop oriented, something like this. Figma become like a web development standard. I remember that period of time when we shared just PDF files in a project and we have to open it locally and so on. Figma is like gross millions on putting everything that we have in Photoshop to the browser. And nowadays, different understanding like of design system and so on, and some basic, I would say, probably for UI UX understanding. Some specific for like difference between European market, Asian market, US market. In UI, it's more about like how deeply you dive in different markets, what you're planning to do. Try to search those like some reference and to understand it. And probably you need some resume. It's like most important part. And I would say that right now, I would recommend attach some source files to resume, not just sharing the image. Why? Because images is super easy to generate right now in different AI tooling, and I've saw a couple of resume with generated images, and it's you don't want to continue such discussion anymore when you see this one. So if
Yeah.
I would look, if I would search for designer who capable with this one, it has separate section, just fake AI of something. Yes, I'm okay with this. But if you're trying to sell me that it's your design and you made it, and I definitely sure it's AI, no, sorry.
Okay,
Mm.
I think we can go to the technology and people. I see some questions about AI. That will be the last part because the best
Yeah, probably
for the
technology
dessert.
would be pretty short one.
Yeah, we have
And
just two
so.
questions here. If you a
Mhm.
few in the chat, you can start from the one is here, and I will try to sort out the chat questions. I will read them out to you, but
Yeah.
start with these ones maybe.
Oof. You would read the question?
No, no, no. I guess we can just yeah, people
Okay.
can see them on the screen.
What I would say mistakes we have and what would you recommend to do? Regret. What regrets I would say we have? From global perspective, I would say. Mm, uh, I would say that I have like couple of direct names of tools that I will have regrets, and a couple of like global comments that I've put in my repository actually. One of them is like if you're talking by the names, I would say that in my experience of previous years, it was um like performance is the number one issue that I see, and I would say that it's like something that teams regret later, since not usually from the start you're thinking that you would have some overload table. You're not thinking from the start that you have like some something become bigger. You're not counting something on the start, and usually it's like an issues when you have like something that is like really nice on the design. Usually it's like some from business requests coming like we have this like nice animation, or we have this nice mostly it's like animation designs reference and so on and so on. Guys come in and say that, oh, we know that it's like scroll API exists, let's make some scroll up animation, and usually it finishes that we remove any animation from the page in a couple of months. And actually performance of the page struggling on this. So, and animation, it's like one of the first markers that we have. I wouldn't say that like animation is bad. Animation is really cool when it's like continue your design system. When your actually design system also thinking how a lot of components would be on a page, how of them would be, and so on and so on. So it can be like I mentioned, animation. So for example, I had experience. We have like super huge table, and it starts in just like a table with a couple of filters, but it finished that client. By design, it makes on each filter request, it's make request to the API, and it grows bigger and bigger. And at some moment, client understand that it's not super cheap to pay for this technology. It's become pretty expensive one. and we have to switch it for like just API and rewrite it to make it with the types and so on and so on. So we need to put some time on this, and it's more about performance. So it's like, as I mentioned, like performance is something that you're not thinking on the start when you start, and usually it's like one small library, one small something. It's come like from performance in a build process and so on. So you're not putting some points on the start on this, and nowadays, I would say that some architecture solutions that I'm not like, and the market like dictate, I would say, to us to do it in this way. It's something that we forget, I would say, that the cost of technologies that we're choosing. So, for example, um, we market and everyone in the market in React development, everyone say you that you need to deliver your best deployment, and I would be if you use Vercel. But if you have some issues with Vercel, it's super hard to move your application strictly from this technology, from this provider, even if it's not a technology to provider. We have such architecture solutions and decisions that like super tightly attached to, for example, Google Firebase infrastructure, and it's not possible like separate them because they're using it, it's possible, but it takes some time and cost that like you thinking it's better to rewrite the application or just switch from one source of provider and so on. So it same happens when we super strict to Amazon infrastructure. I've saw the projects where we have not just a test buckets or something like this, they have fully test regions, full region just to test your application. It's I would say that like it's pretty like it's definitely that you regret after some couple of times. And I've saw those solutions when you like not like super strict to technology. I remember good old days when you can run monolithic application, cover small needs, and that's it. It's more about like business, you know. If your seniority, choose correct technology for correct request, and I would say that like share it and make it comfortable to you for you to maintain and develop like in some normal level of understanding. Um, and something that we have about technologies, I've read Vadin's future. I've actually have no idea before this question was asked what is Vadin and where it is, but some knowledge that I have in previously, I've seen it. It's actually I have a joke actually about this one. When developers lazy to learn some new technologies, they actually create extra layer of abstraction. What it's mean? Usually, Vadins, it's something that looks like the Java developers that really don't like to learn React, and they create like a separate layer and name it Vadin. I would say that if you really would need to run some super fast front end and you're really good with this feature and you have zero skills on React, yeah, why not? I saw the same tooling for PHP, for Go, for oh my gosh, for a lot of different for Python. Oh, for Python, it's like a lot of Python's definitely not want to run there, and a lot of like backend developers don't want to mess with the front end technologies, and they would provide some cover on top of this and run this one. Usually, those technologies is super focused, I would say, on a small market. Usually, it's just a couple of business, small amount of actually businesses who run this in a production. It's really good for startup, for some Kickstart or some Scratch or something like this. Can you share the link? Yep. It is.
Yes, the link to the roadmaps, you send it just to me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just I
I'll send
just
it
put it
to
on top.
everyone, but don't worry, I'll also add this to our mailing after the event. So
Yeah, and actually, it's a question like that not everyone for example, not all React developers right now know how to wrap mobile application, but we have React Native, and I would spend like less time to deliver like some application on React Native than learning fully new infrastructure and fully new language for me. Same happens here. So it's possible, yes. But we still have like each year some mobile killer Kotlin. The last one, is it like die or not? I'm not sure. So it's like a lot of overlays. Some of them like bring some market, some of them not bring market. We still have like applications that run on Cordova, and that Cordova is like 15 years ago was created. So yeah, it's possible.
Mm,
Uh,
The next,
I've
can we go
technically,
to the next one?
yeah, and just last one, I saw a question about technical, starting from the front end or starting from the back end. It's much easier to join to the front end team since it less actually technologies you need to know to start working on the front end one, and usually less payment starting for the front end one. Backend is more skilled, I would say, to start. You need to know a lot of the environment, a lot of CI, CD, and so on and so on to actually make the backend one. But on the future, it's possible actually easy attach like your to your backend experience to the front end one. It's possible. For me, it was easier to go in this way. I would say that like, but some parts it would be like more tricky to understand, like build processes and so on for the front end one, and the browser runtime. It's hard to understand after that from the backend perspective, I would say. And if we go further to the next questions, it's actually I would say I would recommend start from the hard level, since it's highly possible that at some moment those junior level of development would be covered with some AI tooling, or you can cover it with some predicted results. Let's switch to
Before we go to AI, I know that
here we go.
everyone wants to go there. I know, but we still have a few questions. I don't remember actually. Did you cover this one? Do you recommend starting learning a language like Python or R first, then delve into specifics such as Vue.js?
What you would like to create. If you would like to run some drivers for Linux system, you don't need Python. If you would like to run some library, some packages to run something, I don't know, some low-level development, definitely go with R and so on. If you learn in university or you're planning to go to university, start with Python, because Python is like 100% cover all possible developer needs. All. It can make everything, mobile application, game, whatever you decide, you can build in Python. It definitely would be, as I mentioned, like if it cover everything, it's covered with it in some not the best optimal way. Yeah, so but it's possible. It depends what you search. What is your request? To touch a lot of technologies or focus on something? You decide. If you would like to run with AI, for example, and development of those AI stuff, it's definitely Python.
Okay. Then any thoughts on HTMX, if any?
Nice technology. I would really like to switch to this one, but I would say that it's right now. Right now, it's not, as far as I remember, it's like just a separate document that describe this one. It's not become a standard one, so it's some kind of library, and I would say, it's from my perspective, it's super hard to push new technology to the browser. We still don't have browser TypeScript runtime or possible. We still have to compile it to JavaScript. Uh, it's the same level of like understanding. If possibly if it happens at some moment when the this community that build in all these standards for browsers, the Firefox one, there are a lot of different communities where you read in documentations, start putting this one as a browsers. Developers make this runtime in a available in the browser, and maybe after that, it can be like a standard one, probably. But those infrastructure usually super hard to move. And I would say that we would see a couple of extra frameworks before this one actually appear. Probably somewhere in the future, maybe. But it's the same chance as I mentioned that we probably would have browser running with not JavaScript at that moment, either than see HTMLX in a browser, like with without any kind of like layer of abstractions. In this case, yeah, it would be nice, but I don't know. Run the community, write the discussions, make the pull requests, and yeah, it can be alive here.
Next question is, how do you decide between different rendering strategies like CSR, SSR, and ISR for a
We
complex
have
front-end
separate,
project?
I see. We have separate, actually, in our Svitla YouTube channel, we have another discussion where I'm talking about metaverse, and
I
it's
will
pretty
add
cool.
this video link
Yes,
to the thing.
it actually described the modern JavaScript frameworks metaverse, and it fully depends on a business need. One of the possible options to create in your resume, write some application that runs static generation on GitHub commits. Why not? It's a really interesting solution. You would show that you understand actually what this technology bring, that you can choose easily, not just a library, you're choosing the technology that you bring to application. And it's fully depends on the business needs. If you need some, I don't know, some SEO optimization, you would definitely not go like some single page application is definitely not what you need. But for admin panel, it's oh yeah, it's probably much better. Same like right now, it's become more and more popular. We're building more and more like bigger become application on the front end, more technologies we have, more technologies we would see with like some progressive web application, and not only just rendering type, but with some extra development. But as a backend developer experience guy with like different technologies, I would say that like something like server-side rendering become a super new technology for JavaScript world. Was pretty known for PHP world. And those templates and so on that we have in like I don't know some Nest application, it's something like structure of the Nest application, I would say almost the same like a Laravel one or some Symfony maybe. So it's all like everything in web probably if we come in like to the AI our questions, everything in web is already created. A lot of libraries, a lot of things, a lot of solutions of the problems already written in Stack Overflow. A lot of code and the code examples we have on a GitHub, and our engineering skill is just group everything that we find all around to make it look like that you actually write this. So something like this.
Okay, we have two. Sorry, guys. I know that in agenda we planned to finish this event much earlier, but you have so many questions, so we are still here. So two more questions. Maybe we can cover them shortly, and then we go to AI, I promise. Do you think there are some overhyped tools and approaches like micro front ends a few years ago? Right now, community is crazy with Next plus Superbase, Firebase, etc.
Yep. We have like Firebase application right now. It's all about the comfort of the development. As I mentioned, like micro frontends is not something that's actually created nowadays. A lot of AI technologies and so on also not created just nowadays. It's optimized and we find some ways of the usage more comfortable. Micro frontends become more popular since it's pushing by the server hosters. Like 100%. I'm definitely sure that on each who provide micro front ends and microservices involved and planning to deliver it to Amazon. And it's comfortable for Amazon to provide such system. But in your case as developer, it's your seniority level. Find not just like the probably your application would have only those $200 on Amazon infrastructure, and this is like all budget that you would have for your project. So you should be like guided by those infrastructure that you have. I saw some clients that have some contracts with Vercel and put some ventures money directly from the Vercel, and Vercel provide them infrastructure. They don't have options to choose to build the application on Angular, for example. It's possible, but it would be super stupid, and you would spend extra time and justify it with this infrastructure. Its infrastructure is created for React next application. Just put next application to this pipeline and be happy. In this case, it would worth those money that you actually put into this like versatile technologies. I would say that it's like pretty important to be in touch of all technologies and understand what they're trying to fix. So usually it's not just some problems. I can bring like one of the things on a plate. A long time ago, we've like sliced mono projects, mono repository projects to micro repository, micro services, and so on and so on. Now we have a lot of problems with huge amount of Git repo. Now it become another trend. Guys find how to put everything to the to one repo, for example. And if you're working with micro services and you're struggling to work with AI, for example, since it's like you need to download a lot of services, put it to some folder, put AE there, point everything, so those contexts would be shared. You can nowadays use monorepo, same one as it was like 10 years before, but with some updates. We struggle and we have delivery issues. We have some code build issues and so on. Nowadays, it like fixed with a couple of automatization scripts. Is it working? Yes. Is it possible to do it like this? Yes. For some cases when you like I don't know, a vibe code driver developer, and yeah, why not, let's create monorepo and put everything to monorepo. It's more comfortable, like level of your priorities and risks that you have, so you're just choosing. So everything's possible, but you need to understand what it would cost for you or your business. That's it.
And before you started hating me, that we are not going to AI, last question on this matter. What are
Mhm.
some best practices to integrate a good UX in front-end development?
UX usually is more about like you need to have like good designer, UX designer, so it's providing some really nice UX stuff and you just implementing. Time to time, good UX design is not a good data structure. Be careful about this one and not nervous. If you're trying to work with some good user experience, time to time you have some code duplications, some other stuff. It's like your level of seniority to understand how many of this one you would have, and your level of expertise is like how to put all this like edge cases to some pattern. I would say at least it's not the best one would be, but at least some pattern that like rest of the application would follow. For example, your application needs some I don't know, some keyboard navigation. It's like extra level of user experience that we need to provide. and probably it ruin your good practice, code practice, and so on. So it would like attach to your application like all around, and you like need to rebuild and refactor a lot. But it definitely works, and if you implement it in a comfortable way of your architecture decisions, it's really easy to follow such like I mentioned, like we've providing like a user experience for keyboard navigation extra, so not only just mouse and all these key binding levels and so on and so on. It's just a matter of architecture how you like attach this functionality, something like this.
Okay, so guys, congratulations. So we came to AI and front end, and we have AI role and the future of the, I guess, future of front end developers in general. So yeah, let's go to questions we have. Also, we have questions in the chat, and
Mhm.
yeah, start from any of.
A replacement. I would start from this one, but firstly, I would read this one.
Or maybe we have this one.
No, no,
Decide
no, no, no,
which
no,
one
no.
you want
Let's
to
scroll.
start
Yeah,
from.
yeah, this one. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I would actually say that I first read this question and like, what, what? LLM don't have any kind of runtime, their own language and so on. How it would replace? But at some moment, I've actually understand the question. If we, I would say that when we're talking about AI, the most realistic, I would say, from my perspective, presentation of the future of the AI, how I would see and how I would communicate with it, it's two films, one serial and another film. One film is Her, where you have such small, almost zero nothing hardware that have a small screen camera and produces sound, and that's it. And another level of communication is presentation of the AI actually in the films. It's something that we have in serial Accelerated Carbon on the Netflix, like beauty of AI when the full building managed by the some AI system, and it can be like prompt optimized with like managed as some character of Edgar Allan Poe books, for example, and you would have some manager that manage your application and like put in some text and so on. I would say that like we already can write some scripts, wipe code, sorry, some scripts that can fake some behavior, I would say. I've run some parse script that thinks that he's not just a bot, he's like actually a rusty robot. And time to time, there's like some messages, errors, some blinks. They like attach extra functions for me to make it look like that it's like rusty robot. That's it. Uh, can it replace? Probably yes. Some level
Very
of so
positive. Very
yeah,
positive.
yes. In some at some market, we've definitely some if we count some traffic, we will definitely have some extra traffic that we have for those kind of small devices and those global IE buildings, like IE that manage some like business somewhere in a factory or something like this, the super huge one that have like their own servers. I don't know, something building and like probably maybe like top luxury buildings in the future would have their own AI servers that would communicate with some taxi service, for example, some communications like with you count your electricity, water, and other stuff, provide your data to your provider. And if even your provider is not AI communication, he could fill some forms, for example, and so on. So probably when you build application nowadays, we should keep in head that it's possible that AI would communicate with this front end. Uh, is it replaced? I don't think so. We still would have some, even like some deeply in the future. For example, we would if we would have some 2D screens it would definitely would be a browser. I'm definitely sure about this one. We already have huge amount of billboards, 2D screens, and so on that already running in the on some kind of those communications. Can it run it with MCP servers? Yes, MCP and other stuff is like one of the possible gateways. Probably AI would communicate with Web3 in the same way, communicate with other stuff and so on. We would bring some. For now, I would say it's not clear. It's still under development. We still have. We're still trying to understand what level of knowledge we have, what we provide. Is it just API, so we go on a technical level to AI. AI makes those communications to the API. So we bring technical documentation to AI. AI on this level super fast understand this one like we have an MCP. Or is it would be agent mode like Google provide that you say something and it's like open fully browser and you no need to provide those one. It's like two parallels, one of them definitely win. I'm possibly thinking that some high-level business would go with AI one. If you providing something, you would still build an API. For business, it's much more important to be predicted, and API is more predicted way to make this communication. Before we have some direct API data communication before that. What? Anyway, like when we're talking about AI, we should keep in head that it's actually count numbers after 0 point something. So usually all that like count in your GPUs, all your graphics cards and so on, it's like not super strict calculation. In any way, when you need some strict calculations, you would come to some functions, some typization, something. AI still have this variability. You still have this temperature, which you changing, and you have like a variety of options what it would put in your communication. So something like this. Possibly some small part of the traffic, yeah, would go to the AI. We already have like AI searchers, AI stuff that like not allows to go to the sites and so on. So we have some basic, at least walls, but we should start build some communication. It's something that happens in our eyes, I would say. Yeah.
We can go to next question about how AI changing the workflow of front-end developer and what junior developers need to do with it.
As I mentioned, you should start probably a career from the backend one. Backend more stricted, more type oriented, more data structured, and so on. And the AI, it's pretty hard to run this like really good. For a front end, I have really bad news. We've actually have a pretty like we put in some kind of bomb for the junior developer, and I'm afraid that I would be like our like our level. All those developers who already knew something would knew something. The rest that just it would be pretty small amount who actually would need this one. What I mean, it's super. AI is really good to generate something from the picture to the code. It's super cool. I would say that you should try some AI agent with Figma MCP. You just create some image, or you get some image from designer, click on it. In a couple of minutes, you have full representation of this component. And it's mind blowing. I would say we would definitely would have some designers like a library. I don't know, something that you would just put some like UI library, some I don't know some tailwind or something like this, but it was like would be fully generated inside of your project with some needs directly for your projects. And we've just joking about Vladan or some this one library for Java developers. It's like it's pretty risky to start learning it. It's much easier to generate those buttons, those tables with AI in pure React, either than just learning this specific library. So the curve of learning of those like new technologies, like you need to know more right now to actually become a developer. So you need to be a little bit better than AI to actually, or at least start understanding. Yeah, and my like main, I would say that like we mixing. If we're talking about how to be a front end developer, junior developer nowadays with AI, I would recommend separate two features that we put in actually one bucket. AI agent and AI agent that generate code, writing something and make some MCP connections and so on and so on, and AI in read-only mode. AI as analyze tool, as your code continue to something like this. When it's fully transfer your request like I don't know, some vibe code tool that you can imagine, like I don't know, some local running or like some other one that we have like just a moment, let me some developer one that we have with agents with just a moment, I'm trying to find some like cursor one. I'm trying to remember the cursor service and so on that have like bunch of the AIs and you can choose and you transfer your request to the code. You've like have some kind of risks that they generate and you not understand, and it's like the main problem that juniors actually have. You should put in a code only those code that you understand. If you not understand it, better not put it and not generate it. It's like one recommendation. But it's AI, it's a brilliant tool for researching in a new project, for example. I have one of the project with a pretty huge solid database with a lot of types, script types, typization and so on, and it's like a lot of code. And it's really hard to actually search something if you start to like click in one class, it points to another, and it just to get some understanding of how the structure works is pretty hard. Ask, use AI as a teacher, so not as your writer, but as your teacher more. Don't be lazy and write your code. At least after complete, generate small chunks. It would be much easier for you to keep in your focus of this file some small part, either than to understand the full application. But for senior developers, I would say that you can imagine that AI agent is some sort of junior developer that you would have to maintain and learn. In this case, it would work. You can share some small task, check code review and so on. As senior developer, you already provide those skills. Maybe like you have to review each other codes and so on. And mostly your development process become like a code review. And if you're really good in understanding of this, if you feel code with just by the structure, by the Git diff, when you see this line update with this line, and you see what risk it provide, what it's generate, what it's include, what it's not include, yeah, you can definitely use it. If you're not feeling and understanding each line of the code, it's not that you actually mean to do. You better use it as just like research tool, propose tool, something like this, but not full AI agent mode. It's my recommendation. More experience you generate without AI, it would be like more your experience. I would say like for me as a senior, I would really comfortable to take some technology, new one, for example. I've never used some, for example, some Kafka connections. I can quickly create small projects that include Kafka, Docker file, all configurations, all the stuff run small communication like configuration file and start playing with it. And all this like configuration one would be covered by AI, but the playground and the rest of things that I would provide with these like connections, some testing and so on would be on my hands, because it's experience that I would like to get. After understanding how it's work, how it's combined, and so on, yeah, definitely, I can go to the real project and not spending those time and just generate this code. It's almost the same like you work with junior developer. You have to super strictly describe what you need, what tickets, what request, put as much as possible tokens to these junior heads, and after that review the code and see some result and say no, 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 delete everything and start again. It's okay, let's say. But for junior one, it's like you should be in risk that like yeah, right now some $20 dollar model already you can provide. And I would say like I've have experience to be queued from one of the projects with the comment, thank you so much, you write really good code. It's super easy LLM to understand it, I'd say. Okay. Yeah, it's possible. Yeah.
Actually, that's a very hot topic, I guess, because we have in the chat
Yeah.
also a lot of questions about how to, for junior developer, how you should have the balance between using AI and not be
Main
dependable on it,
As I
basically.
mentioned, it's something someone long time ago say you super relate to the Google search. You're not able to run any line of a code without Google.
Yeah.
You've become just developers that copy paste your solutions from Git or from some repositories, and you just do nothing. You've nothing like some old developers that learn some C from the books and keep full book documentation in their head. They say no, no, Google will change you. Yeah, so it's in level of we still don't keep in ahead. We still don't have full, I would say, debug circle of the development. While AI not capable run and maintain their code, it's still just a toy, I would say. It's still just limited, super limited tool. Probably somewhere in the future we would have, like, if we're talking about another conference where I describe errors and how we would talk errors, I would say that in a business perspective, it's actually important for businessman. It's like black box, and you put some money, you put some results, and like some evolution starts when we have like backward signal that coming from the source of like of response actually to the back. AI already have these models and where they like have discussion. One is trying on the learning process when they like one is providing the results, another find some errors in it, and they like go on a loop. They generate like better and better and better and better code. But it's just a matter of make AI better. In in nowadays in the development we still probably we can build something with AATN, but it's still leak of calculation powers to transfer just one jury ticket to actually result that not just updated. Maybe somewhere in the future we would have some service that in each your request to write some update, just rewrite your application fully. Uh, in a code, it would be fully new application. In design, it's just the same as it was before, and you don't see it. And it would cost like $20, and everyone would generate those sites. Probably, yeah, we would have this level, but you don't see those level of applications inside of your Google, for example, infrastructure. Microsoft providing your services definitely not go on the long run with something that they're not capable to maintain. AI still not capable to maintain some solutions or understand that it's done something in this way and so on and so on. It's still generating text to make you satisfied to this response, and that's it. They're still not capable to understand business needs and business priorities and some business risks, I would say. So we still have a huge like we've become more and more like guys that are not related to some frameworks, but you need to understand the technologies that stay behind of this. If you are a junior React developer, it would be much easier for you to switch to a junior Vue.js developer. It would be hard to do this on Angular, for example, since you need to learn extra TypeScript and so on, so extra technologies. But it would definitely support you by this transition. So it would help you to run this one. You can ask stupid questions. You can ask a lot of questions that you probably not put in some chat with your team. So shabby questions. Yeah, but you can ask AI and it would provide this one level of responsibility for you. Uh, what the future standing skills for front-end developers? So yeah, AI become one of the tooling. It's one of the brothers that like helping us to run our code development. Uh, it's like answering both questions that we have here in the topic. So, Brave New World skills, yes, use it as as like a third hand. I don't know, something like this, something that can support you. If you like working as a senior developer with a super junior team, you could cover less. You could cover like some of your time that you spend on the code review and so on, cover with AI tooling. That would make some like pre-commit checks and so on and so on. You can even attach nowadays. I'm definitely sure that it would grow more and more, that you can attach some configuration of your LLM, some requests, some permissions for agents inside of the code base, and it's a really good actually solution. So to share something, some configurations like this, share some prompts, share some knowledge. As I mentioned, like I've already saw the small project that was created with a team of the 3 developers, and actually senior one was the only me. They're both business managers that actually run business. They capable a little bit in the front end one. They just took chunks of my code, put it to LLM, ask for some adjustments, and it's enough for them. So they just cover a couple of hours of the development experience plus building ready CI/CD by me, plus something that would cover like AI, and you have some small pipeline update, some small adjustments in your business application. So probably, yeah, it would more interesting like in this way. But as a developer, I would say that like it's not our problems. We already in my experience, I've saw the boom of like a lot of templates companies. Everyone business would like to make the application. A lot of businesses make their own visit sites. Nowadays it's like all in Instagram. Actually, it's more comfortable platform for marketing. It's more easy to. You need something and you need some marketing. Use Amazon, use Shopify, use some other stuff. So, uh, as a like business person, you would be focusing on business needs. And as a developer, I would say, yeah, at some moment I was mostly focused on the applications for the small business, and it was like huge market. You can find some job for like 1 week, $100, and it's like small, super huge market. It's probably still exists, but it's super small. Not a lot of businesses like decide. It's usually like decision for like middle presentation business. They decide nowadays build their own web application. Why? Because they like overgrow Instagram, overgrow some platforms, some site builder stuff, and so on and so on. A lot of Instagram shops already using AI images. So probably a next step would be AI marketplaces. But the last page where you make payment definitely would be written by the human, because it's money related. Our world is not ready for like money related and AI stuff. So in the market, I mean. So probably like you should be ready for AI becoming like a good brother for you that helps you and supports you, like some lazy developer. probably really good developers in some close future would train their own like AIs, and they become in some kind of small studio, and you've become in like not developer, you've become in some kind of team lead, some kind of architecture, you've providing some code standards, you've providing some architecture decisions, you've providing some other things. So from the start you have to jump in a level of architecture, so it's pretty hard for new beginners. So in any way you should like learn something, while we have no like any options to run AI either than like some hardware. It definitely would be some hardware that run the AI request by some networking, at least job for like network capabilities and some kind of developers. It would be switchable or like some option for you. So
Basically, I mean, I'm scrolling the questions we have in the chat, and basically, we covered most of them, and it's already 2 hours of us being here, which is fine for me. I had great time, but I guess some people
yeah.
will leave us soon. I guess the only question maybe that we can, because it's the last question in the chat, what about AI orchestration then? I mean, what if we put one LLM as developer and other one as a QA and generate different rules for them accordingly? Isn't that would be as close as possible to full development debugging cycle? I think we can
Uh,
wrap up
yes, it's
everything with this.
possible. As I mentioned, you can probably nowadays run the same process inside A 18 8 and A9N 8 9N. It's like AI automatization tools. So probably you can build on top of this uh, and, and, uh, and automate anything. N8N, this one. Uh, I would share the link so everybody who familiar with AI, familiar with this automatization tool, probably yes, you can. But it's like if it's interesting for you to build it in your own, for example, yes. And as I mentioned, you've become like a team lead or something like this, who's like actually um, manage all this team. What capable this team? It's actually the question. What cycles of development and so on? It's not predicted right now. Possibly, yes, you can. But if we're talking about business, business is usually about some solutions. I I'm definitely sure if you can like make it cost effective, and you could replace the development team and just represent the input for the, so you would point to the business one guys, as I mentioned, possibly, yeah, in future. Nowadays I think it would be pretty cost not effective, so it would be super expensive and with super not stable results. So this team is definitely not possible maintain the code that's like still that runs maybe for some small application, yes, but not for some middle size business or something bigger than just like a list. Yeah, but it's definitely my plans for patient just to sit, review the pull requests from my LLM that I'm training in my garage, and just yeah, drinking some wine, training LLM, or if it would be worse, maintain some WordPress application site. We still have so huge amount site written in WordPress and PHP. It's still like 90, 70 or 60% of the internet. It's pretty huge in a matter of traffic. So we would definitely need a lot of developers to maintain all the old legacy code that is not written by AI.